Welcome to the Fitish podcast. I'm shedding.
Are you again?
Shedding. What?
Shitting or shitting?
Shedding. I'm shedding. I'm looking down at myself and I have fur and I'm like, well, the pugs aren't around much, but they say that you do lose some hair after like postpartum. Postpartum sucks, by the way. I thought I hated being pregnant. I thought I hated trying to get pregnant. Postpartum really sucks.
Postpartum really sucks.
I actually think postpartum's like been my least favorite phase. I guess it's easy to say when you're in it.
Well, I have just certain aspects of it, because every time that baby smiles, even when he cries, makes it all world.
I know that makes me sound terrible, because now we actually do have the living, breathing creature that we spent all this time creating. But I think I just selfishly, postpartum has really sucked because all your attention's on him. I'm still needy for attention because I don't feel good. I'm not comfortable in my own body. I should just dive into this because we address your questions every week and we got some really good ones between last podcast and this one. But Crystal wrote us, said, hi, Jenna, Fran, and Remy, and said, congratulations on your sweet boy. I'm due August 4th with my first and have enjoyed listening to y'all's journey. Thank you for sharing so much of your life and experiences with us. I have a question for you, though. Was there anything you did during pregnancy to mentally prepare for what it is really like after Remy was born? I tried to imagine what it's going to be like and think about what's going to be changing, but I feel like I'm going to be completely overwhelmed and unprepared. I'm 36. I think you nailed it when you said we've been able to be so selfish in our lives for so long. The transition might be more difficult. Crystal, it's like you got it all figured out, but nothing can prepare you. I think, right? I mean,
don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it.
I'm just going to go ahead and say, don't overthink it. There's nothing that is going to prepare you, because everybody overwhelms differently.
Yeah.
But you go now overwhelmed. You're going to be overwhelmed. Yes.
I think for me, the most immediate shock was how freaked you are those first couple weeks. And I touched on it last week, because nothing can prepare you for that. Like, that you talk about, in the abstract way, you drive home from the hospital with this child, you walk into your house, you sit down on the bed, you look at each other, you're like, oh my gosh. You think about how, I guess the best way to say it is, everything I thought I would need is like, I don't need it at all. Like these DACA tots some people love. I have this DACA tot. I envisioned a Saturday morning drinking coffee. Remy's going to be like chilling in the DACA tot, laying next to me in the bed. I can take a cute photo. Like that's never once happened.
Yeah, no, we were thinking that we can take like one battery off and he's going to be kind of chill, or take the two batteries off and then he's going to be absolutely chill.
It's like a full hands job. I think I spend half as much time on my cell phone on social media as I used to, because you have to use both hands with him. I thought I could just like breastfeed and scroll the internet and shop online. No, none of these still selfish things are possible. For me, those first couple weeks, you feel like you can't do it almost. But of course, imagine so many people before us have done it. So you'll figure it out. It's just challenging. And I think if I could give anyone advice, when you're in the moment, it's going to feel like, oh my gosh, like very overwhelming. I can't do this. It's the end of the world. But if these phases end really quickly, a lot of women that have had children say, oh wow, the days are long, but the years are short. And I think that makes a lot of sense once you get into it, because day by day, you're like, wow, like I still have like 4 more hours before grandma's coming home to help me or whatever. And it feels very long in the moment. But then all of a sudden we're turning around going, shit, Remy gets his 2-month shots tomorrow. 2 months.
And he's so big already. Like he's so long.
I don't know if that's like, normal. He's a big baby. He's long. He's tall.
So he's smiling now and he's laughing, and those little milestones just make the whole entire sleepless nights. And
no one can prepare you, though, Crystal, to answer your question. I felt the same as you. I thought I had it at least as figured out as I could. And I think having a lot of things handy, having the little things that you might need, right? The diaper creams and the nose thing to get the snot out, and the bath time stuff, like having all the practical stuff does give you some assurance, but nothing can prepare you for the intrusive thoughts. Like I used to wake up in the middle of the night those first couple weeks going, he's going to fall off the balcony of the stairs and crack his head open on the ground. And I know that sounds really intense and you were having nightmares, but now I've learned it's actually very normal. You have this like unfounded anxiety, and I'm not normally that anxious of a person. And I was just freaked. Like, he's going to die. He's definitely going to die. Like, you think about that every 5 minutes, and it's so crazy.
The thing is that he's so fragile. But
just know that that's like 2 or 3 weeks of that. It's almost, it's almost like impossible to manage those intrusive thoughts, but then you get slightly more and more comfortable. I mean, I've heard it never quite goes away. It's like having your heart outside of your body. So you care so much about something so small and it freaks you out because you don't have control over how he feels at a given time. But it's pretty amazing. It really is an amazing thing, right? To see him and he smiles and it just melts you. So at least there's that payoff. But physically for me has been the struggle lately because to get back to work and to take photos for work and things I need to do for the business. I know this sounds very superficial and it's very girly, but I hate the way that I look right now. I hate trying to get dressed. I hate, nothing fits. And I don't know. Of course, it's not going to. It's been 8 weeks. I still have this stomach, but I was telling Danny, who's pregnant and she's due this summer, when you're pregnant, it's okay because you feel fat and you feel kind of gross sometimes, but you're pregnant, you have a bump and it's just, you're different. It's almost like you're a different kind of human when you're pregnant because everything you're supposed to have a stomach, but now I'm out and I just look like I've gained a bunch of weight, and I just superficially feel very, almost insecure in how I feel.
I just wish, and I hope that people will tell you, but you look amazing. Like you look like you never had a kid.
I appreciate that. It's just hard when you stand in your closet every day and I have too many clothes and nothing
you need to
fits.
throw that stuff that you used to wear at 20 years old because
I got rid of all my jeans. I got rid of all the jorts, okay? Because I'm never going back to that as a mom now. Like I'm never wearing those booty jean shorts. It's just not happening. I threw them all away. Well, except for one pair. Not that I'm going to wear it, but I like them and they're kind of funny. They were very cool. I got them at a vintage store. But other than that, I've thrown away all the jorts.
Oh, wow. I'm proud.
Well, do you know who's taking all the stuff?
My mom.
Yeah.
No,
your mom's leaving. His mom is leaving us
so
tomorrow.
Sexy with your George.
His mom has been here since February. So she has been here. It will end up being over 2 months, right? Almost exactly 2 months.
Well, 18 was yesterday. Today.
Yeah.
We got here at 17.
Yeah, so it'll just be a little over 2 months when she leaves, and I have mixed feelings about it. I can tell she's really ready to go. It's never been annoying having her there. I think the last couple of days, I can tell she's ready. I can tell she's ready to leave. She's told me that God's told her it's time for her to go. So now, when someone throws God into the mix, you're just like, how could you argue that? You're
too weak.
God's telling her it's time to go. What am I supposed to say to that?
You're supposed to say, God is telling me you're full of shit.
That's like the full mic drop moment because there's like nothing to retort to. God's telling me to leave.
Well,
my God
told me that you need to stay another 2 months. And then it's a negotiation. Like, okay, so if your God said you want to leave 2 months, we settle at 1 month.
Fran,
1 month more.
Fran has been, I guess he found a label maker because we keep a binder, right? Because we've had a night nurse. So we have this binder. I highly recommend some form of tracking the baby's behavior at first. It basically is just like, what did he eat? What time? Pee, poop, medicine, and like notes about how he's feeling. That way, if you have other people kind of helping you out or feeding him, you know exactly how much he's eating. And it's been really amazing for us. There's an app called Huckleberry that we use for a minute. We'll get back to that later, but we're just handwriting everything. And Fran got a label maker because he decided, I'm going to organize and label everything in the house. Hasn't been done. Fucking shocker, right? Except one label that's on the binder that says mean grandma. I'm like, you're tormenting your poor mom. He's printing off labels, putting them places to like torment his mom.
Well, label makers are not only to organize things. They could be a fun medium to communicate with other people. I highly recommend.
I don't even know all the other labels that I've yet to find yet, but yeah, it's going to be interesting with her.
Always there in your bag, so you don't see it.
She's thank you. That's so sweet coming from you. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be weird not having her there because as much as I'm ready to kind of start figuring out what this is going to be like without her, I'm pretty apprehensive because then Fran drops this bomb that now he's going out of town twice in the next week. So I'm losing grandma. I'm also losing my partner. And I hate the way I feel in general right now. So I'm not hyped. Like I am not excited about this next week at all.
Well, it's bonding experience.
Great. I bond with him every day. He's on my tit, sucking milk hours every day. I think that's, you can't get much more bonding than that.
You could. I'm pretty sure you'll figure out that it's just talk to him. Ask him about his hobbies. What does he want to do when he grows up?
Did you even say goodbye to our child this morning before you left?
Absolutely,
Because
100%.
I didn't see you even communicate with him. I got up at 6 a.m. so I could feed him.
I say goodbye to him.
You're in the shower and out the door. But you know what? You dad however you want.
Babe,
it's your choice.
We text.
What are you going to tell him about your trip? He's not going to remember you.
Oh, we're going to FaceTime. He already has a phone.
With who? Yeah. You're not talking to him when you leave him to go to Mexico.
Oh, I give a phone to Betty, our nanny. So she's like, we have to FaceTime every other time.
You gave her a phone?
I will. I have one actually in my backpack. You remember that black one? I'll put it.
No, but I'm actually even more disturbed now that you have a burner phone that I don't know about. I'm feeling insecure right now. What more do you need to know? I feel insecure, and now you're telling me you have a burner phone in your backpack?
Yeah, but it's in the backpack.
You all see how great a relationship post-baby is? I'm filled again with intrusive thoughts about my partner and his infidelity with his burner phone. Like, what are you doing?
Babe, I'm so disorganized in certain ways that if I were to have a burner phone, I'm pretty sure I'll be confusing phones and I'll be burned.
You would call me on the burner.
I'll be burned.
You'd text me from the burner phone.
It's like, hey, mi amor. Oh, shit.
Yeah, because you have dad brain right now, right? Because
Yeah.
you tried he's flying his dad back on a one-way flight to drive home because his mom's going to drive from here to Mexico City, and they don't want her to do it alone. So she's actually going to be driving home. But you said you booked your dad on like.
So yesterday it was like whirlwind. Like I'm very thankful. I'm being very busy. But my mom was like, hey, in the morning, can you fly your dad tomorrow?
Y'all are the most last minute family
And
I've
it's
ever
like-
met in my life. Can some of y'all
And it's
please
like-
Fitish fans have my back? Like I'm going out of town tomorrow, Jenna. No, you're fucking not. We have a passport appointment. And even his mom now, fly your dad here tomorrow. I'm leaving the next day. Like what? It's not pubic hair on the microphone. It's probably your beard hair.
So my mom comes like, can you fly your dad tomorrow? Is like, can it be Wednesday or Thursday? Because last minute flying is
Super cheap.
It's not the cheapest, especially in this is a
International.
holiday season in Mexico. People travel for
Spring
a holiday.
break, Easter.
So anyhow, like
You booked it.
I booked it.
And at what point
on
did
my
you
phone.
at what point did you realize something was amiss? Because I
What-
heard you on
no.
the phone with the airline this morning.
It like my dad would have stayed in Mexico if my mom is very demanding when it comes to her shit. So she's like, hey, can you send me your dad's ticket? It's like, yes, mom, I'll send it to you right now. I checked and I put Francisco Quintanilla. And I was like, what a fucking idiot.
So his dad, just so y'all know, his dad's name is also Francisco, but his mom's last name is Quintanilla. His dad is Rizzo, like he is. So he gave him the complete wrong identity on his plane ticket.
So I call American Airlines and I was like, I'm going to have to pay another $1,000 for a ticket. And I was like already bracing myself, like, well, we can change everything but the name,
Of
like,
course. Yeah.
and they're like super nice. Kudos to American Airlines. Like, I've
Really?
never said this before, but because they normally used to take 4 hours to return a call, they answer right away.
Oh, they're hyped because they don't have to wear masks anymore?
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
And they did the name change.
Wow.
They actually asked me, so is said only one last name or two last names? Like, let's put both of the last names
So you
that
just
he has.
added another name. I see. Yeah.
No.
Wait, he has Quintanilla in his last name too?
No, he's Francisco Rizzo Hernandez.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, as it shows in his passport.
Got it. I was like, wait, this is cool. He also took your mom's last name?
No.
I was like, wait a second.
And,
what am I doing wrong?
So everything,
It's good.
fire averted.
Well, I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited to see your dad again. I hate that they're leaving, but I'm trying to kind of get back to things that make me feel good. I think that's one thing that's helped. And so yesterday I was like, I'm going to go on a run. I said it all day to your mom. I'm going to go on a run, like, because there's no other better way to start feeling better in your body than to start working out and eating better again. I was like, I'm going to go on a run. As I'm sitting there, I'm shoveling. Have you ever had the Fruit Loops with the marshmallows? It's like the best of both worlds, the Lucky Charms and the Fruit Loops. So like I'm eating from the box. Then I realize at 3:00 that I feel like shit because I had only eaten Fruit Loops with marshmallows. And so of course I didn't go on a run. And I was like, but you know what I am going to do? I'm going to make dinner. As a mom now, I don't love to cook. I don't think anything's ever going to change that. But the things that can make me hate it less, let's just be honest, are convenience, because I don't like having to pick out a recipe, go to the grocery store, get all the ingredients, come home, unload it, clean out the fridge, then cook dinner. And HelloFresh is a sponsor of the Fitish podcast. And they just make this so easy, right? Because you're obviously going to get all of these, portioned out ingredients with the sheet that has the recipes. You get a lot of flexibility in what you choose when your order comes. And my favorite part, of course, it's delivering everything right to the front door. So the only effort you have to make is putting it into the refrigerator for a brief moment and then getting it out and following the instructions to cook it. So if it can get me cooking, I know it can get you cooking. And of course, a lot of these recipes, like I said, you have options. So you can go with the family friendly. I mean, I can't wait till Remy's old enough to start eating more and then we can cook dinner together
exciting.
for all of us. But of course, kids are picky, right? So you can go for more family friendly, or you can choose what I choose, quick and easy. I like things that are quick. I really like all things that are quick and easy, right? Yeah, quick and easy.
That's my last name.
You can customize your favorite dishes with with their new Hello Custom offerings. You can swap out a protein or one side for another. So, you can upgrade as well. So you're making it a more luxe experience. And so, why would you use HelloFresh over some of the other programs out there? Well, HelloFresh actually makes home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. It's so much more affordable than some of these other options. It's actually America's #1 meal kit, but it makes sense. And if you want to save even more, go to HelloFresh.com/Fitish16 and use the code Fitish16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. That's HelloFresh.com/Fitish16, Fitish16. Again, that code is Fitish16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. America's #1 meal kit is HelloFresh.
We have that ravioli that it's out of this world.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that your favorite one?
So far.
So far. So what are you going to miss the most about your mom being here? Other than texting her every time Remy shits his diaper and you want her to change it.
Well, luckily, he only shits his diaper once.
Fran acting like dad of the year. I got him. He walks off to change Remy at the changing table. Takes a little longer than I would anticipate, but I think he's struggling. He's a new dad. Those onesies can be tricky. And all of a sudden his mom walks back into the room with Remy all fresh and clean. And I'm like, oh, really? So you took Remy out of the room. You texted your mom from the downstairs bedroom. Wait for her to come up, do the job. You just stand over and watch it. And then she brings him to me.
I'm a professional problem solver. Resourceful.
As in you have other people.
If I have the resources, I will use them.
So what are you about to do? Oh, I know what you're about to do. You're about to fucking leave town.
I'm going to go meet 3 clients. And then there's a seminar of diaper changing I'm going to take.
Whatever. Okay, so where do you get to go? In Riviera Maya. He doesn't get it. And this is, I think, what's really hard. You learn how different men and women are when you go through this process, because let's be real, like, men will just never understand. They think they understand and they have the empathy and wow, it looks hard and that's really difficult. They don't understand like the emotional toll either that it takes, because I try to explain to him, he's like, do you think I want to leave the baby and leave town? I'm like, I don't know, probably. Like, I would a little bit, but I can't, because you also, as a woman right now, and maybe it's just because it's still only been 8 weeks, I feel this draw, like, I don't really want to leave him. I love the idea of going to Mexico, but the second I even got to the airport, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm not going to see him for like days. I'm just not ready. And physically I can't, I can't leave him yet, because he's like, I'm his food source for, every 3 hours. So it's this weird dichotomy, if you will, of like, you are you're a slave to the child, but you also you want to leave more. But even when I'm at the office today, like I can't. Like I'm reminded I'm leaking, literally. Like my boobs are leaking milk right now. I need to pump, but it's just so difficult. And then here you are. You're gonna be. So I'm jealous, if that makes sense. Like I'm envious that you get to leave, but I also am not ready.
100% honest.
It's a frustrating feeling.
Like I'm not excited to leave town. I'm not excited to leave my kid, because
do we believe him? Do we believe him?
He has become like the center of my universe for sure. Between you and him.
So you get to go to vacation. So you're going to my
not a vacation. San Miguel. So I'm going to go.
It's not a vacation.
Got a new client.
It better not be a vacation. If I see him drinking a drink in the sand, I'm going to be pissed. Yeah. Which is kind of like impossible to not drink a drink in the sand when you're in Mexico on the beach.
Don't worry about it. You're not going to see it. But so we signed a new client in Mayakoba.
So you're going to have a couple listings, hopefully.
80.
80. I hope so.
So 80 listings. They're going to be villas, beautiful villas in Mayakoba at a banyan tree resort.
Wow.
Property, starting at 600 all the way to 3 million.
Wow.
So we're going to go
I can't
do that.
afford one of those.
And I have to check on a other hotel in Tulum. And then I'm going to go to San Miguel because we have 2 listings coming up in San Miguel de Allende.
I only have one question. Are you going to check in with me better than you have in pre-Remy? Can we call it like PR? Pre-Remy days where Fran goes out all night with clients and just doesn't check in. And then I call the hotel and they're like, we don't have anyone here by that name. And I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? Are you going to check in with me on this trip?
Yes.
You promise?
Pinky promise.
I don't want to pinky promise you. That's weird. I just want you to tell me.
Yes, babe.
Like,
yes.
Think about us.
Babe.
So I don't have that much more anxiety.
Once every other hour.
I don't need that much, babe. That's too much.
Once a day.
A little more than that.
3 times a day.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
I don't need a number. It's more just about if you're out.
Babe,
why is it so hard for you to understand?
No, and I want to FaceTime with my kid also.
Yeah. See, now I have something to hold over you.
Yeah.
Before I'm like, I'm not talking to you till you get back in town. I already told you all that. That was one thing I did once. Because I know that's a lot of recommendation. Like if the guy does this, then you should just do it back to him. Like, because if I didn't answer his calls for a whole night and he knew I was in Mexico with some people out, he would hop on an airplane. He'd probably drive on his motorcycle all night to get there, even if it was a 30-hour trip. If I didn't answer his calls, for a whole night, you would hop on an airplane, you would come down and you would walk in and you'd be like, the angry wife, you would. I know that you would. So
and
treat
if
me the same.
I ever do that, it's just because I have FOMO and I want to be partying with you.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least you get to go get your partying out.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm. What do they, by the way, just a random question. What do they call a ranch water in Mexico?
So.
Because that's your go-to drink, right? I've always wondered.
Agua rancho.
Really? And they know what that is?
No.
You have to order it all separately?
Yeah, so you have to be that day. So actually, there's a drink before ranch water. There's something called vodka Ricky.
Vodka Ricky?
Which is vodka, soda, lime. So now you just order tequila Ricky, and I came to find that it's exactly the same thing. So that's my advice to you. If you take something away out of this podcast, is if you go to Mexico and you like ranch waters, order tequila Ricky.
No wonder they call it a ranch water. Tequila Ricky is such a terrible name.
Don't say sal en el rin porque it could be misunderstood. Just say vaso escarchado.
What is salt on the rim?
Like a rim salt. They might put the salt in the wrong place. Good sting.
Okay, well, you have to hold this because we've come up with a good plan for our Spanish lesson from Fran, because we had a good email about that. But we do have a handful of fun questions. That one's too cheesy. Fran and I have been fighting, so I don't think we should address the thing you love most about each other right now. But that's really nice. Some people really want to know.
I would like to know.
I just can't think of anything right now. I've been so mad. Oh, I'm kidding.
We're on the same page.
We've just not been getting along. It's really hard.
The thing that I love most about you is your patience.
Shut the fuck up. I'm so impatient.
And your eyes.
Yeah, you just got to go with something physical, right? It's just too hard to think of anything about personality right now.
No, babe, you have a lot of amazing traits. You don't show them often lately, but you you do have them. You do have them deep inside.
We really have not been getting along. It's okay. I think it's just really hard. It's hard. I think what you try to work on too, and I tell you, it's hard because you have to fight a little differently when you do fight, and it's just it's hard habits to get out of because we're tired, right? You get so involved in your own tired world or things he's stressed about, like if it's work related and he's busy, of course, because I'm sure as a man you feel differently about having a child to provide for. But me, I'm sitting here in this like more emotional state when a man, just if it's any help to anyone that's pregnant right now or for a guy, so much when you're a good guy, so much attention during a pregnancy is spent kind of catering to your woman because she's pregnant, she's having your child, you're really helpful. And then all of a sudden she has that baby. And the same goes for like medical care. There's nothing there for us. After you get cleared at that 6-week appointment, they're like, okay, you're good. You can have sex. You can work out like normal. You can do whatever, but you don't at all feel like normal. I mean, you have sex that's very painful. You try to work out. You feel like shit. You still feel, I don't feel pregnant anymore, but I feel almost equally as bad sometimes. Still very hormonal, I feel very sad some days. And I don't think I have postpartum depression, but you just feel very, kind of down, I love Remy and I'm happy to be around him, but maybe I'm grieving what our relationship was like before and maybe he's not. I think that's kind of what it is, if that makes sense, because we used to just be able to like talk and hang out and we don't do much of that anymore because he gets home from work and spends all the time with Remy. And I made dinner. Like I said, I made dinner last night and I was really thrilled. Like I made the overly delicious dinner and I never do that. And I actually poured a glass of wine and he got home kind of late from work and we were going to go to Costco together before, but then he got home too late. So then I was sad that I had like never been to Costco and I was really.
I got home. She had her curlers on, like her little apron, waiting to go to Costco.
No, I know, but I'm not Susie fucking homemaker. And then I'm doing that, but I also work my ass off too. So of course I'm pissed, right? Because it's not like I'm just sitting at home waiting on him, but then I'm cooking and then I'm mad because he gets home and then you go to put Remy to bed and your mom and I sat there and ate dinner. So you didn't even sit and eat with us. And then I went upstairs to hang out with Remy and you came down and ate. So basically you get the gist. Like we didn't spend any time together and then we both just went to bed and like didn't even really talk. And I feel sad about that. That's all. I feel sad about it.
Let's talk about it.
No, I know, but how? I think this is the reality, right? Like something's more important now for both of us, and I think we're gonna. I have moments where I kind of grieve the.
Well, we need to have a balance for sure. I think right now we're trying to find our bearings with Remy and I think we're gonna have a really awakening moment when Grandma Superstar leaves.
Oh no, when you go to Mexico too and I'm here and I lose my partner and grandma, yeah. Oh, and I'm gonna have an awakening. Yeah. Sure. Well, we'll see how
it's gonna be a little of awake. I don't know if there's gonna be an awakening because you're never gonna go to sleep. So
shit. All right, let's tackle some other questions. Is Fitish having a 420 sale? I'm so glad you asked this. This is from Aussie Rose, maybe. I like to read your usernames because I have them all printed off right here. Yes, not only are we having a 420 sale on the website, if you live in the Dallas area, we're doing a super cool pop-up at a smoke shop in Bishop Arts District called Go Easy. We're going to bring the truck. By the way, I need you to drive the truck tomorrow.
I'm going to be a truck driver.
Yeah, so actually, you're listening. You're listening to this episode on 420. We're just doing it the day before. So we're actually going to have a pop-up tonight from 4 to 7 p.m. in Bishop Arts at Go Easy. They're a super cute CBD store. We're going to be doing a free gift with purchase as well. So please come see us because I'm going to be there missing my baby son. But yeah, I'm going to be there. I think Franny might be there too. So we'd love to see you.
Driving the truck.
And if you can't make it, we're not doing the free gift online, but we're going to have a chill collection, like an assortment of products, not everything. An assortment of products is going to be discounted online. You'll have to buy products sometimes when they're not on sale.
Diapers are not cheap.
Diapers are not cheap at all. No, not at all. But speaking of, when you order from Fitish, you get your stuff in the mail, and we get a lot of compliments about how quick the shipments are. And I'm sure you all hear me. You've heard me for years now, between the podcast and the radio show, talking about Shipstation. And they're a sponsor of the podcast. But the reason I love talking about them is because it's very easy for me. They've been my, shipping logistics connection for all of these years. And when I first started Fitish, it was just some sweatshirts, right? It was sweatshirts and hats, and I sold digital workout programs. I don't know if you know that. And then it grew into what it is now, selling, we have over 20 different beauty, wellness, fitness SKUs. It's really amazing. And Shipstation has helped, they've grown with the business really seamlessly, actually. I mean, you don't have to worry about shipping at all. And if you've ever tried to sell things, or you have a small business, you know that shipping's everything, right? I mean, shipping is just usually the most expensive part of your business. Even if customers are paying for shipping, it's still for you, when you do free shipping weekends and things like that, it actually becomes an expense for the company. And Shipstation is just so seamless. It helps me keep track of orders from any sales channel, right? It helps you find the best shipping carrier with deeply discounted rates. You can automate any shipping task with just a few clicks. So when y'all's Fitish orders come in, they get printed off on all these labels. So my fulfillment team can just slap them on boxes. Everything's all tracked and taken care of. It's so wonderful. And like I said, they work with a lot of different e-commerce sites, right? Like I have a Shopify. That's my basis for my store. But if you sell, a big business now is people having Amazon stores, right? You order stuff, you sell it on Amazon. Great business. People are making like 6 figures doing this, which is crazy, and drop shipping, right? eBay, Etsy, or just your own website in general. And Shipstation's going to integrate with all of those sites. Ship more in less time with Shipstation.com. Use my offer code FITISH to get a 60-day free trial, 2 months free of no hassle, stress-free shipping. When you go to Shipstation.com, click the microphone at the top of the page and type in Fitish, Fitish, Shipstation. Make ship happen. I almost slip up sometimes with the ship. But I love the tagline. I mean, they just have a great one. Make ship happen. I mean, there's a little intention there with make ship happen.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's very clever. It's very edgy, Shipstation. I like it. Very edgy. So yeah, 420 sale coming up. We have a lot of pop-ups for Fitish. I'm really trying to work. Business is tough. Running a business is hard. We did pretty good in the pandemic, actually, which was interesting. I think people stuck at home, but now people are doing more. And so sales get kind of blah sometimes, and you wonder like, why? What aren't people liking, or what's not hitting? Or advertising, we got suspended for a while there. We didn't have ads running because CBD still on Google. They don't allow CBD. They consider it to be like tobacco and firearms. So I think a lot of people don't know that it can be very difficult. And we've worked so hard on cool content lately. So I have the team working really hard on creative, because I feel like if you entertain people, then maybe they think about you when it comes time to buy stuff. So We'll have some Mother's Day stuff coming out, maybe do some giveaways for you. But I hope people are going to see our Mother's Day, what we've been working on Friday. We're going to post
cool.
A really funny concept for Mother's Day.
Amazing job with that.
Fran is actually in it for a moment. And at one point, I may play a guy again. After I filmed these Mother's Day, I'll just kind of tell you what it is. I did Mother's Day personas. So I dressed up as different kinds of moms. So to give you recommendations on like what to order from Fitish, right? Depending on the type of mom you are. So, fit mom, or the fancy mom, or there's a couple different ones in there, but I decided to
don't give it away.
I decided to do another one that involved Fran, and Remy makes an appearance. So
I was a mom.
I hope, in a way. Yeah, I hope y'all like it. So let me know what you think about that. Really funny. Okay, a couple more questions that y'all sent in. How about that? When are you all taking baby Remy to Mexico? Well, we have he's getting his shots tomorrow, his first shots, and then the next day we have an appointment that we've had for a month. That's why when Fran said he has to go to Austin also for a night, I was like, not until we do this passport appointment, because with a newborn, both parents have to be there in person with the baby and all the stuff. I think we have all the documents we need and the photo. But anyway, we have a passport appointment for Remy.
Yeah, we need to get the picture.
And we actually booked a family trip to Puerto Escondido at the end of the summer. So we may go before then if we get the passport in time, but that's at the end of July, beginning of August, at least. We know we're doing that with his whole family and my mom, and we're really excited about that. It's
my mom's 60th.
Yeah, it's his mom's 60th birthday. So I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to like plan a trip that we take our families somewhere. So we rented a house. So we're going to go somewhere on the beach. But it just makes sense now. Before Fran and I are like, no, let's just go stay in a hotel room, just us. But now, his sister has 3 kids and one's really little and then we have Remy.
Oh, by the way, the nanny just said that confirmed that she'll come also. Not this one.
She's not really a nanny, right? She's someone that works with your parents in the house. That makes us sound very lavish. She's going to come on the trip.
Yeah.
I did not insist on that, but I know your sister is probably.
Oh, no, I did insist on that.
Yeah, so she's going to
because she's really good with babies, and she's going to come stay.
We have to pay extra for extra people, right?
It doesn't matter. It's worth it.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, 100%. It'll be interesting to see. He'll be 6 months old by then. So, but yeah, our hope is that, especially if he's working more in Mexico, I like the thought of taking Remy to Mexico a lot. I don't know like how difficult that's going to be. I'm hoping that if he gets a Mexican passport also, right, that then I get to use his Mexican passport to go through the local lane when we get to Mexico. Americans don't know what that option is like sometimes because you see it. But if you ever go into a tourist spot in Mexico, when you fly into Cabo or Cancun or Puerto Vallarta, right? So when you fly in and sometimes you sit in a customs line for like 2 hours and that line's really long when you get to the bottom of that escalator and you're like, oh man. Well, if you're with a Mexican, when I first learned that, I was like, I like this very much. But that's really why I'm with you, for
that's what I thought.
But there's no one in that line. And so I was like, wait, I can go with him even though we're not married. And then apparently Remy can
because I'm a Mexican.
Yeah. And apparently Remy can get his passport too.
Yeah.
Right?
It's really easy. We just have to go to the consulate.
That doesn't sound easy. That sounds intimidating. But what about me? I can't, right?
Well, at some point, we'll figure it out. We'll walk you through.
But like if I had Remy alone and was traveling with him to meet you in Mexico, I could use Remy's passport, right?
Yeah.
It'd be like, I'm sorry, my baby son is Mexican, so we're going to go through this way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
As long as Remy says, yeah, that's my mom.
And he doesn't. We don't even have the same last name. That's a whole nother thing, right?
You have to play nice with him because he could be at some point in like 5 years old, like, I don't know this woman.
Get out of here.
He just looks exactly like you.
Oh man,
as everybody's saying lately.
I don't know. He's a good mix of us both. I think, like, I realized you kind of have a square face and I have a round face. And I think he has your square jaw. We just don't see it as much because you always have facial hair. He looks
like very round right now. His face looks just like a circle.
Paige,
like a little balloon.
I'm continuing on with some questions. Paige wants to know how someone can get the Fitish truck to their neighborhood or event. Like I said, Fran's going to drive it tomorrow. We're going to take it. We're open to this. Again, info@fitish.com is a great email address for all your questions for us for the show, but even Fitish related things like this. If you want the Fitish truck to come to your neighborhood or your event, we're open for this. We'll sell product. We're going to do some fun pop-ups this summer. If you're having a pool party, you want us to come, hand out some freebies. We'll talk about that. Or sell product.
No, I'm just kidding.
You want to pay for us to come and actually like gift product to people. We're down. So just email us info@fitish.com. Let us know what your event is and what you had in mind. And we'll go from there because I think that's absolutely great. Right?
Yeah. 100%.
You're the driver. I mean, unless there's someone of you out there that wants to drive the truck for us on the weekends and make some extra money and doesn't have a DUI like the last person I tried to interview, I would love that. So again, info@fitish.com.
If you only have one DUI, maybe 2, that's where we draw the line.
Right? All right, hold on. I want to touch on something before we finish the show today because this was a great email that I read yesterday. I told you I didn't want to read the whole thing to you because I like to at least leave some stuff up for
surprise.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just a nice email. And then it stimulated the idea of a new segment that we're going to start today. And then we're going to do it every week at the end of the show.
Tell me more.
I'm about to. All right, Danielle. Hi, Jenna and Fran. I've been a long time listener. And around the time Jenna left the show, we welcomed our baby boy, Peter. He was born in March of 2020, an IVF baby. We tried for years to get pregnant. They finally got insurance coverage to allow them to do IVF. Very fortunate for you. She said, I had to be induced at 32 weeks for medical problems while my husband, who is from CDMX, was in Mexico. I was in labor for 2 days. I ended up having a C-section. He made it back just in time. She says, I would absolutely opt for the C-section again rather than the misery I experienced from labor, only to then have the C-section anyway. It just really pissed me off. I totally get you. I haven't been able to listen to the podcast as much as I've wanted. Peter has been a very difficult baby. Now that things have settled down some, I'm able to listen, and I've been catching up on some of the older episodes that I missed, and I wanted to thank you for sharing your journey. It's raw and it's personal, and it's something so many people experience and just don't talk about. I also wanted to share that Juan only talks to Peter in Spanish, and he seems to understand both languages equally. He speaks more English, but in the last 2 weeks, his Spanish has really started to explode. Juan is, of course, thrilled. I am too, because that's been our plan, right?
Wow.
You're talking to him almost only in Spanish.
Almost only
right?
in Spanish.
Yeah. Raising a child in a home with two different cultures definitely comes with its challenges. The communication can be hard and frustrating, especially when one of you is constantly on Mexican time. Ugh, I didn't know that was a thing. Mexican time? I'm allowed to say that, right?
Yeah, for sure. Because I'm Mexican.
Yeah. It's okay. You know, everyone's real sensitive these days. I don't want someone to think I'm racist.
No. Yeah, you can say it.
Mexican time.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it was a thing. So, like, I'm really glad she's sharing this because I've always wondered why you're always late to everything. I didn't know that it was just a Mexican thing.
That's what we always say.
It was pervasive throughout the culture.
Mañana doesn't mean tomorrow.
What does it mean?
It means eventually.
See you sometime.
Eventually.
Whenever I get around to it. Okay.
There's no need to be reminded every 6 months.
P.S. Fran. I'd be very into a Spanish lesson. A whole segment feels like a lot, but a lesson would probably be welcomed by many listeners. Teach me something. I've been married to a Mexican for 10 years now and understand a lot, but don't speak much. Geez, that sounds horrible. So that brings us to the still unnamed segment where Fran teaches us a Spanish expression or phrase, because I think that's more doable.
I'm pretty sure Juan will disagree with the full, like having a full podcast, but
you're going to alienate even your own podcast co-host,
of course,
by doing a full Spanish one. So if you want to go out on your own and start your own,
I'm going to call Juan
podcast. Yeah, you and Juan can shoot the shit in Spanish on the podcast all day long. Good luck getting some sponsors for that are in America. But other than that,
tequila,
great.
mezcales, all sponsors welcome.
Let's start small. And I think that, like, your mom said something really great yesterday. Y'all have so many funny expressions. And I like to think that we do too in America, things that it doesn't really literally make much sense. But I think those are the things that are very hard to learn. And you bought me that Spanish book.
Yeah.
What was that one called?
It was called Mexi Slang.
Mexi Slang. Mexi Slang is such a great book if you want to learn some funny Spanish expressions. I have not retained any of it, but I do recommend the book because it's really funny. And there's a whole 50 pages on chingar, which obviously means what?
It's a very diverse word.
Everything from horrible expression from fuck your mother to nice versions of it. I don't know how they have a word that means so many things, but the book has Mexi slang. So it's all of these crazy expressions. And I don't think this expression in particular is in the book, but we're going to do the Spanish phrase of the week by Fran. We'll come up with a better name for it.
Yeah.
Insert Spanish sounding sounder right here.
Like a mariachi.
Okay. So today, I want you to tell what we talked about because your mom said to me something yesterday. Remy's hands were very cold, and it was bothering me, and I thought he was cold. Then I realized, oh my gosh, Fran's hands you have ice paws that sometimes you touch me before we're about to get intimate, and I just can't handle it. It's like you've had your hands in a freezer or with a dead body. I don't know where those hands have been. But your mom said, you know what they say? She said, something. And she said it was something like cold hands, warm heart.
Well, that doesn't translate like that. So
teach us.
The Mexican phrase of the week.
Yeah.
Not all that exciting. It's manos frías.
Manos frías.
Amores todos los días.
Amores todos días.
Which
to
very
me
promiscuous.
That sounds like love always days. See, I have to break it down like that.
So
love always todos.
It says cold hands, love love every day, or like it means that you get a lot of love every day,
Okay.
something like that.
Doesn't make sense at all.
It doesn't.
And that's
like,
something y'all
it's
say?
like yes, it's something we say like
Manos frias.
amores todos los días.
Amores todos días.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So if I wanted to say like love all the time or something, do you say amores todos días? Can I break up that
amores
sentence?
todos los días, it means that everyday loving or everyday love.
Why can't the order just be something I'm used to?
Life sometimes
It's gonna take me
throw
so
you
long to learn
curveballs.
Spanish. I understand you and your mother a lot more, but I still can't speak it. So I got to get back
Like
on
you
that.
understand us as a person or in the language?
I don't understand you as a person at all. No, just I know some words that you're
Good,
saying.
yeah,
Yeah,
good.
I feel like I understand you less actually as time goes on.
Yeah, no, me too.
So we're doing great. We're clearly. I told Fran before we end this podcast. I was sitting there so sad the other night because we just haven't been getting along, and I'm like looking on my phone like at some stuff. I'm googling some things, and I was like, I want to like maybe we should like do some couples counseling about like communicating with your partner, and I was like, I'm looking up some therapy. He goes, good for you. I was like, fuck off. Good for you. Like I'm the one that needs it. I need to figure out how to deal with you.
Well, yeah.
I don't need it. I need to figure out how to deal with you.
Well, that's why I brought my mom all 2 months, so she can she has kind of the handbook.
I asked your mom last night when I was cooking. I was like, because she saw me upset the other night, and it's just so awkward when like your mother-in-law's there, and like I'm almost 40 years old. Like it's not. I would never really share with her the problems that we're having in our relationship, but she knew that we weren't really getting along. And I said to her, I was like, I want to understand something about Francisco. When I express myself to him, or if I say, I hope you're okay with me sharing this part. I said to her, I was like, sometimes I'll tell him that I'm not feeling great, or I I need a little bit of like extra help with something. He takes it very much like I can't do anything right, and I'm like, no, you can. It's like an isolated thing. Like I'm just not feeling great. I want more attention, or I try to be direct. And his mom's so funny because like I think no matter what happens, his mom like will always defend him, which I probably would with my son too. And I was very like delicate with the way I was saying it, and she said to me, men are very different. They're not like women. Have you ever read the book? I don't know if they have it in English. Men, Mars. Like, yes, women are from Venus, men are from Mars. Yeah, I got it. She's like, have you read that one? I was like, not in many years. It was funny. I was like, I know they're different. She's like, I think you need to be more direct with him. And I'm like, little does she know how direct I am. When I'm like, will you call me? She's like, you can't just expect them to understand what you want without telling them. I go, I just wanted to be like to her. No, I fucking tell him.
Babe,
I'm telling him. Do you see how direct I'm being right now?
More direct. Like you're very abstract.
Shut up.
Like when you say, "Would you call me at 5 a.m.?"
It's very abstract.
It's very abstract. Like I don't know if you want me to call you names on the phone.
This is the time that I would get back into taking a Xanax occasionally, and I can't because I'm breastfeeding our son. I can't even medicate because I'm giving him my milk, and I don't want to drug our baby. So I have to be sober and deal with all of this. It's very difficult.
Tell me about it.
Enjoy your trip to Mexico, honey.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you too. All right. Well, this was a great podcast. So we'll work through our issues. We'll see. And I'm sure y'all are very excited to see.
If not, you're gonna see another co-host sometime soon.
I thought about that. I was like, if we break up now, what am I gonna do?
It's gonna be the end of it. Like
the end of the podcast.
The end of everything.
Don't give yourself that much credit. They'll have my side.
Oh, absolutely. I know.
I'll just sell you down the river. Yeah. I'm kidding. We're okay. We're okay for now. No, we're all right. But yes, having a baby's hard. Aren't y'all all looking forward to it? Those of you that are pregnant.
Jokes aside, it's the best thing it could ever happen to any human being.
It is. And I think that you come out a lot stronger because you realize too, whether it's your relationship or how trying the times can be with a baby that's crying all the time, when he looks at you and they'll just like smile with this gummy smile. And I've heard that he's close to giggling now. These little developmental things that you're like, yeah, when other people are excited about it. It really is amazing to see this thing go from so small to like smiling at you. And it kind of makes everything in that moment feel better.
When you're having like a very heated conversation, an argument, if you bring the baby into the room, things get better.
We don't do that. Yeah, we don't do that.
You just put him in the face, like, what's that tension?
Yeah, I know. Well, hey, We're figuring it out, but we like to
We
be
will
real
figure
about
it
it.
out.
If you have any more questions, info@fitish.com. Hit up Fran if you want to buy property in Mexico. He's going to apparently have a lot
anywhere.
of them.
If you want to buy property anywhere, hit me up right now.
Support us. But thank you for
Diapers
listening.
aren't cheap.
Neither is
Night, nanny.
couples counseling that we're going to have to do. No. All right. We'll see you next week. Bye.